in 2 acts. One set, 5 characters. A juicy murder in Act 1, unexpected development in Act 2, sound construction, good dialogue, laughs in the right places, highly commercial.
Why, that's wonderful, darling. I'm so happy.
Happy? Why on earth happy?
But it's yours, isn't it? The idea you had in August.
The idea I had in August has gone the way of the idea I had in June. In the fireplace up the chimney and out over Fairfield County. This arrived in the mail this morning. It's the property of one Clifford Anderson. He was one of the twerps at the seminar. Dear Mr. Brule, I hope you don't mind me sending my play Deathtrap, since I couldn't have written it without the guidance and encouragement you gave me at the seminar last summer. I thought it only fitting that you should be the first person to read it.
That's nice.
No, it isn't. It's fulsome. Please excuse the carbon copy. The local Xerox machine is on the fritz, and I couldn't stand the thought of waiting a few days to send my firstborn child off to its spiritual father. I think I remember him. Enormously obese, glandular condition, 400 pounds.
Is it really that good, his first play?
It can't miss. A gifted director couldn't even hurt it. It'll run for years.
I should think that you'd be proud that one of your students has written a sellable play.
For the first time in 11 years of marriage, darling, drop dead.
My goodness.
I'm green with envy. I'd like to beat the wretch over the head with a mace there, bury him in a 400-pound hole, and send the thing off under my own name.
Oh, my poor Sidney.
I mean, what's the point in owning a mace if you don't use it once in a while?
Why don't you produce it yourself? You know how to... You've been in enough productions to know how to do it.
Darling, I may be devious and underhanded enough to be a successful murderer, but not, I think, a Broadway producer. One mustn't overestimate one's talents.
Collaborate with him.
That's a possibility.
Isn't there room for improvement in the play, good as it is?
That is a possibility, yes.
I'm sure you'd be thrilled at the chance of him to work with you.
I'll give him a call right now.
Where does he live?
Up in Milford. You don't like the mace?
No, definitely not. Blood on the carpet.
Oh, it seems as if Mr. Anderson has found himself a collaborator. Now, wait a minute. The fat one didn't stay the full week, and his name was Quincy.
Easy way to find out.
Yes.
Sidney, you wouldn't actually kill someone to have another successful play.
Don't be foolish, darling. Of course I would. Do you realize how much this play could net its author in today's market? $2 million, and that's not including Deathtrap t-shirts. If that isn't a reasonable motive for murder, I don't know what is. Hello, is this Clifford Anderson? Sidney Brule. Well, as a matter of fact, I have. I just finished it about 15 minutes ago, and I must say in all sincerity that you've got an enormously promising first draft. Why don't you come on up? Actually, it was built in 1794, but they were out of 9s at the hardware store, so I backdated it 10 years.
Hello.
Clifford Anderson, my wife, Myra.
Oh, it's a pleasure to meet you. Is that the mace used for Into the Kill?
Yes.
You know that Gunpoint was the first play I ever saw. I had Annette in New York, and she took me to a matinee when I was 12 years old.
Oh, well, if you're trying to depress me, you've made it.
How? Oh, I'm sorry, but that's how I get hooked on thrillers.
Oh, it is a disease. Thrilleritis malignus, the fever pursuit of the one-set, 5-character moneymaker.
I'm not pursuing money. Not that I wouldn't like to have some, so I could have a place like this to write in, but that's not the reason I wrote that.
Well, you're still an early case.
Would you like something to drink?
Oh, yes, please. Do you have some ginger ale?
Yes. Sidney, scotch?
No, dear, I believe I'll have ginger ale, too. Oh, as you can see, I'm taking very good care of my spiritual child. Lock and key here somewhere.
Got the original here.
Ah, good. Did you do several drafts?
Just one. It's a mess, but you should be able to decipher it.
Okay, what else have you got in there?
Just the outline, from which I departed considerably. Everything was in one envelope, so I just grabbed it.
All right.
Oh, thanks.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Deathtrap.
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 Are you planning on staying in here?
Yes, I'll be quiet.
Do you think I overdid the set description? All the exact places for each piece of furniture and all?
The set description? No, I don't remember anything wrong with it. No, this is perfect. It couldn't be better.
You're welcome to read the play too, Mrs. Brule, if you'd like to.
Ah,
I would.
I wish you had told me that you wanted Myra to read it. I could have asked you to bring another carbon, and she could be reading right now while we have our talk.
I didn't know she'd be interested in it anyway. I don't have one.
You don't have another carbon?
I thought I'd be Xeroxing it as soon as I was through.
Ah, yes. There's no need for 2 or 3 anymore in the age of Xerox.
Mr. Anderson, Sydney is bursting with creative ideas about your play. I've never seen him so enthusiastic. He gets plays in the mail very often. Finished plays that are ready for production, supposedly. From his agent, from producers, from aspiring playwrights. I'm sure he can improve your play tremendously.
Is that what you meant by, I'll be quiet?
I won't be quiet. I'm going to tell you something that's been on my mind ever since the phone conversation. It's very wrong of you to expect Sydney to give you his hard-won knowledge without any quid pro quo, as if the seminar were still in session.
Well, he offered to give me his help.
And it's very wrong of you to have offered to give it to him. I am the one whose feet are on the ground and whose eyes on the checkbook. Put it aside, Sydney, and help Mr. Anderson with his play.
That is a shocker. Put aside the drowning wife.
It'll keep, Sydney. Put it aside, please.
Well, that's awfully persuasive, Myra. What do you think?
Wow, suddenly feel as if I'm on the spot.
You are. Myra's put you there. Put us both there, actually.
Well, first of all, I'm honored that Sidney Brule would even consider putting aside one of his plays to work with me on mine. It's a golden opportunity that I probably ought to seize with both hands.
You should, yes.
But it's as though I went to a doctor, one of the world's leading specialists, and he recommended surgery. Well, even with my respect for his eminence and experience, I'd still want to get a second opinion, wouldn't I? I'm sure your ideas are very good, but you're right, Mrs. Brule. It wouldn't be fair for me to hear them right now without some type of arrangement. To be perfectly honest, I feel Deathtrap is very good as it is. Not perfect, certainly, but I don't think it needs surgery. If later on I think it needs major rewrites, then I can come back here and I'll be begging you to do exactly as Mrs. Brule suggested. I hope I haven't offended you.
Oh, no, not at all.
Mr. Anderson, please. Agents know about contracts, but they don't know about...
Don't beg him, Myra. He'll think he has the wealth of the Indies here.
I'd never think anything like that, Mr. Brule. I'm really grateful that you're willing to go out of your way to help me.
Well, I'm not, really. Now that I've given it some thought, I would never put aside a play as timely and inventive as The Drowning Wife to do wet nurse work on one as speculative as Deathtrap. Do as you said, and if you think that it needs some major rewrites, get in touch. Who knows, I might hit a snag. It's happened once or twice.
Thank you. I will.
Though I doubt I shall. I have it completely outlined and I'm more than halfway through. And I also have another play waiting based on the life of Harry Houdini.
Oh?
Yes, Houdini's always been an idol of mine. These are a pair of his handcuffs.
Sydney!
Relax, darling. Clifford isn't the type of person who would steal someone else's idea. You wouldn't do that now, would you?
Of course not.
See, no cause for alarm. Remarkable man, Houdini. Made all his own magical apparatus. Did you know that?
No, I didn't.
Magnificent craftsmanship. Have a look.
Sydney, please!
Sit down, Mike. Will you stop being so all-fired suspicious of every person who walks through that door? You see, we had a rather nasty experience a few years back involving a plagiaristic playwright whose name I won't mention since he's gone to his maker. Ever since then, Myra's gotten alarmed if I so much as tell a writer the language that I'm working in. Don't take it personally. Those are quite remarkable. Have a good look at it.
They seem so old.
They were made to and apparently solid and escape-proof.
Certainly look that way.
Be my guest.
You mean put them on?
Yes, that's what I mean when you're holding my $1,200 pair of Houdini handcuffs and I say, be my guest. Put them on.
$1,200. Ooh.
All right. Now, you've got to turn your wrists like this, press and pull. All right, turn your wrists like this, press and pull. Now, it's got to be one quick motion. Turn, press, pull, all in one. Just one motion.
No, they're not opening.
Well, they did for me yesterday morning. It's not a question of they're not being oiled or anything.
I guess I'm just not Houdini.
Don't worry, I've got the key here somewhere. Don't go on fussing with them. You're liable to ruin them.
Sorry.
Key. Where are you, little brass key?
You know, this could be turned into a fairly interesting thriller. It could.
How so?
Well, a young playwright sends his first play to an older playwright who conducted a seminar that the young playwright attended. And then the young playwright goes to visit the older playwright to get some ideas for rewrites. The play would have to be a very good one, the one the young playwright wrote meant. And the older playwright would have to have not much going for him at the time.
An enormous combination of rather unlikely circumstances, don't you think?
Yes, maybe, but we've almost got it here, haven't we? Only difference is you've got the drowning wife and the Houdini play, and I'm sure Deathtrap probably isn't worth killing for. But nobody even saw me getting into your car.
Well, there you are. You've licked the second play problem.
I think it could be turned into something fairly interesting. What do you think, Mrs. Brill?
I don't like it. It frightens me.
I wonder if I could have put it up here somewhere.
Oh, I forgot to mention, I should be getting a call any minute now. There's a girl coming to see me at 8:30, and I couldn't get through to her before I left. So I left a note on the mirror telling her where I was and giving her the number so she could call and find out what train I'll be taking back. So you're going to have to find the key soon, or else you're going to have to hold the phone for me.
How is she going to get in to read the note?
She has a key.
You're not a very conscientious house sitter.
Well, she's honest.
You said in the car that you didn't know anyone in Milford except for a few tradespeople.
She's from Hartford. Her name is Marietta Klanowski. She teaches at Quirk Middle School, Fayette. Could you go on looking for the key, please?
Certainly.
My heart won't take it.
Won't take what, dear? My finding the key? I do believe the two of you thought I was going to grab the mace and do a Dr. Mannheim. Clifford, is that why you've withdrawn so far upstage?
Well, you can't write a play like that and not have a mind that envisions possibilities.
True. Very true. I'm slightly paranoid myself. What's your excuse, a loyal and trusting wife? 11 years of marriage, and she thinks that I'm actually capable of a flesh-and-blood murder. There's a lesson for you in there somewhere. Come, uncuff yourself. Deathtrap is promising, but it's not that promising.
I'm glad it isn't.
No, I think your best invention so far was the name Marietta Klanowski. That's wonderful. I congratulate you.
Thanks.
I can see the sweat on her forearms after the basketball game.
Are you sure this is the right key?
Ye gods, Houdini opened them in a milk can under 10 feet of water. You don't mean to tell me that you can't do it in...
Sydney, stop! Stop it! I beg
Stay
you!
back! Stay away!
Oh my God!
Right on the rug. 1 point for neatness. Your heart seems to have taken it.
Barely.
We'll give it a rest on the Riviera after the opening.
We're going to be in prison.
A young would-be playwright walks away from his house-sitting job. The police won't even bother to yawn.
Leaving his clothes and his typewriter.
Who can guess these young people nowadays? Maybe, especially the would-be writers. Maybe he realized that he wouldn't be and went off to join the Reverend Sung Young Moon. Who knows?
What are you going to do with him?
Bury him. Behind the garage. No, the vegetable patch. Easier digging. Oh, Myra, I'm going to be a winner again. All our dear friends will see you living on my money. Picture their confusion. Oh, good. Just as I planned. We can get that Rolls Royce that we've been looking at. Things will go fine. Myra, would you mind helping me carry him? It's been done, Myra. I don't see the point in my getting a hernia. Thank God he wasn't the fat one. Make mine a double. I've got myself a bit of a chill. In Murderer's Child, I had Dr. Mannheim bury Teddy in 45 minutes. Next time I'll know better. I have the feeling that you're about to deliver a speech. Would you mind holding off until I've poured my own brandy and sat down?
I had intended to. I've learned something in 11 years of melodrama.
Good girl.
Sydney, I wouldn't mind living off of your money, but I couldn't relish the thought of living off his. I tried to understand how you could do it, bearing in mind your disappointments and your embarrassments in our financial situation, but I can't. You're alien to me, and it can't be only since 5 o'clock this afternoon. I don't see how you can be as unconcerned as you do when the police come to question us.
Well, how will they? He vanished from Milford. This is Westport.
In a month or so, if we haven't been arrested, I want you to leave. We'll have a few arguments in people's houses. You can write them for us, and then you'll move out. I wish you could take the vegetable patch with you, but since you can't, you'll buy it from me.
Myra, you've had a shocking and painful experience, and so have I. I'm absolutely terrified that I'll be caught and absolutely guilt-ridden for having been crazy enough to do it. This isn't the time to talk about anything. In a few days, we'll both be ourselves, and everything will look much cheerier. Come on, you tried to stop me. You did your best. It was my doing and mine only. You helped me carry him because I asked you to, and you were too in the habit of helping me to refuse. If anything should go wrong, there must never be any question whatsoever on that point. But nothing will go wrong. In a few days, we'll be celebrating. Leading producers option new Sidney Bruhl thriller. Successful playwrights admit envy. Let's lock up and turn in.
No, he couldn't help himself. I tried to stop it.
He's dead. I'm positive. It worked.
How could it not? She's had minor ones over much less. Oh, I've got news for you. Styrofoam hurts. You used it up a hell of a lot harder than you did in the motel.
The added adrenaline of the actual performance. He didn't exactly make the strangling a jolly experience. I'd better get my things in.
No rush. We're not going to call the doctors for a few minutes yet. We don't want them working any miracles of resuscitation now, do we?
Of course not.
Deathtrap. A thriller in 2 acts. Have a look at that one. It's quite a remarkable script, actually.
Seems very familiar. French doors open up stage center over a garden. 3 characters. A juicy murder in Act 1.
Don't move. Deathtrap is over. The gun from gunpoint. No blanks at the dear old Lyceum tonight, though. Real bullets courtesy of Mr. Smith and Mr. Wesson. I'm truly sorry, Cliff. If you hadn't succumbed to thrilleritis malignus, who knows, we might have actually become the writing team of Bruhl and Anderson. As it is, we're going to have to be only Bruhl. I'm out of dialogue. Your go.
I was going to say, I'm not going to bed. Looking pity on a pretty face.
Thank you very much, Clifford, but it's so much easier to split 2 million one way than it is to split it 2. Goodbye, Cliff.
Goodbye, Sidney. Probably Cliff would be anticlimactic. I bought some blanks this morning. I was buying bullets for this one. Put that down. Remember, Sidney? Reversal? We talked about it the first day of the seminar. Most important element of all drama. Sit down, dum-dum. Be my guest.
You mean put them on?
That's what I mean.
What are you going to do?
Continue gloating. Don't play dumb. Through the arm of the chair. So, here we are, the writing team of Anderson and Bruhl. I write, and Sidney thinks.
Well, I'd be glad to think some more.
No thanks, I'll manage to fill in the gaps. I'm going to go upstairs and see what money I can find, then I'm going to pack and call a cab. When it's at the door, I'll leave you the keys to the handcuffs. You'll tell everyone you gave me my notice, and I accept it with grace and charm. If you say I stole anything or pass me in any way, you'll be opening up a very messy can of food. See you anon.
Clifford, those were Houdinis. Oh, reversal, Clifford, reversal. Important element of all good drama. Oh, hang in there, Connecticut light and power. Atta girl. Police department. This is Sidney Bruhl. I live out on Rabbit Hill Road. I've just killed my secretary. He was coming at me with an axe. Yes, now wait till you hear this part. You're going to think I'm drunk, but I'm stone cold sober. I shot him with a medieval crossbow. It was the only thing I could get my hands on. No, I assure you it isn't. Why don't you come out and see? But you better bring some flashlights. I am B-R-U-H-L. Sidney. Oh, how nice of you to know. His name was Clifford.